Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and loyal listeners. This is MC Richardson, the moderator and the host of Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City. We have another tremendous no-nonsense show planned for you today. But before we get into that, I just want to acknowledge what we didn't do last week of Buck O'Neil being inducted into the Major League Hall of Fame, and that took place October the 24th. He was a tremendous person to be named to that. I knew him, and then the other person we're waiting and hoping get into the NFL Hall of Fame is another good friend of mine, Otis Taylor, number 89 for the Kansas City Chiefs, out of the College of Prairie View A&M in Texas. Also, recently I just heard that the National Conference of Black Christian Association, I don't know the name, but they just kind of downplayed or didn't trust the mental health system on the treatment of blacks, especially in rural counties. Although this has normally been an occurrence against the people of color or black people. Now we get into another situation where we got two tremendous guests that will be on the show, joining by our other producer, Mr. Our Folks, something that happened in a little small town I'd never heard of, called Bourbon, Missouri. My understanding it's about 80 miles outside of St. Louis. And we have Mr. King and the mother of the victim. We had another situation where white officers, white people killing black, and no justice to date. So we might open up where Mr. R. Folks recently interviewed Mr. King recently, and I had him on the show before, and the mother of the fatal guy that still justice has not been proven to be correctly as an injustice. So would you start us in a preface to for the show, Mr. R. Folks?
Sure, MC, one happy to. Recently, like last week, I had Mr. King on my program. Lunch was Relations and Commerce, and we were getting an update about what Mr. King with his son, who was, just gunned down, in cold blood. Matter of fact, he was in his pajamas, called outside of his house by his neighbor, who was a known problem for the community. He had threatened several people, and was known to be a hothead, and had just kind of, been a problem in his community, and so he was able to kill the King's son, their son, I should say, and just get no justice. Now, Charles had no peace. Been around for years ago, and right now, they're going through the system. Mr. Nimrod Chaffel has been the attorney, and they're going through the legal steps, game presses, reaching out to the system and where they in the proper channels. And to date, there's been no stream of justice for this family, and so that's why they're still not giving up. Like most parents, they love their kids, and this is a very nice young man. There was a people in the other community. He helped anyone that he could. He was there in Bourbon, to be close to his child, and so it's not something that was a problem. It wasn't well respected, but unfortunately, in these rural communities where the Klan pretty much rules, and Missouri is one of those states that the Klan is pretty much embedded in our community, but that's what we got about it. So again, here we are, again, another black being killed by another white person, and no justice. On that note, King is agreed to join us along with his wife, with justice, but this thing justice. King?
Yes, sir. Justin King.
Yes,
And I have it.
yes,
King.
And so right now, King, be so kind. We just kind of keep us up to date about where we are. And I know his brother is joining us also. And I know the last time we spoke, it was very, very hard program to do because she was hold back the tears. And it's something that's very hard to recall, I'm quite sure. So both of us, for our mothers. You can't go ahead, please.
Yeah, I appreciate you, MC in Kansas City, and Mr. Fowlkes for allowing us to get on and share your platform. My son, Justin King, was gunned down unmercifully on this past November the 3rd by Eric Barber of Crawford County, who, like you said, had already been a problem, but pulled a gun on a resident in the neighborhood a few years prior who had pulled a gun on his wife and threatened to kill her and his daughter, 5 or 6 years prior. And unfortunately, the prosecutor that was in my case was the same guardian ad litem that represented him and that allowed him to get custody of his daughter after doing that, threatening to kill the mother of his child. And, we have, went to lengths to try to find justice. We hired Mr. Nimrod, who's an excellent attorney, to represent us. We've dealt with Crawford County, not bringing forth the evidence, not finding evidence, just basically brushing the evidence underneath the table to protect this individual. And, we have, got no justice with Crawford County. We sought attempts through the FBI, but the FBI only went on the evidence that Crawford County brought to the table, which was nothing. They did a medical inquisition where the coroner's inquest, where they invited their friends to come and basically hear the same evidence that was sparse, to decide that hey, we're not gonna file any charges. So we're now trying to involve the Highway Patrol. We're working with the senator in Missouri to get the Highway Patrol and to also seek some justice from the Attorney General of Missouri. But this has just been a tragedy. His mother, Eva Bruns, who's on the line, that's who you hear cheering up, has broken her heart. And Justin was just a lovable person. He didn't deserve to be killed like this. He was helping a neighbor when he got killed. The neighbor was planned this. He acted as if Justin was his friend. He was in Justin's house earlier that day, and this was planned. He basically turned off his video camera. He had changed the direction of his video camera. And when I asked Crawford County, hey, could you go and look at the cameras to find out when he did this, when he changed the direction to his camera, there was no answer to that. It's just sad that we have, in 2022, we still live in these situations. So I'm asking the public to stand up with us, to demand justice. We are not going to go away. I don't care how long it takes. We're going to, demand justice. And that's my standpoint. Eva, did you want to share a little bit with the community in Kansas City, Missouri, and St. Louis, Missouri?
Yes, I'm trying not to cry because this has been so long that seeking for justice for my son. Just in 2018, he was with me all the time, and since he was born. And he was a very sweet person, and possibly knowing him. He don't sell any drugs, and he know better than bad is good. He's a good dad. He got one daughter that now the daughter can't even call his daddy anymore because it's one person that right now is still free. that also the person have a daughter that he can see his dad. But my son, I've been knowing him that he's so lovable father. He do everything for his daughter. He work hard. He even helped me because always they in my side. I just don't understand the system that living in the U.S. I'm from the Philippines. That anointed ship that even 1, 2, 3 times is not considered any kind of justice for my son. I don't care what you call the being friends or the being hate on crime, but he did shoot my son. So where is the justice? I'm really hurt. I never took pills before to calm me down. I never believed in medicine, but now I've been taking it because I can't live. And I know he wants me to live. One for his granddaughter, for my grandkids. Since November 3rd, it was like, 8 or 7 months. Now we've been fighting for justice. We do every possible thing that we could possibly do. And we didn't win. It's like disappear. Like my son never exists. I protect my son for any kind of harm and pray for any kind of harm.
Mrs. King, we just want to, we appreciate you joining us during this sad moment in your life, so we will bear with you. We really appreciate you even joining us in this very vital type injustice type of program. So we understand, and you gotten us saddened too, just thinking about the ordeal you have suffered.
Let her go ahead and explain what she want to say.
I'm sorry?
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Abel Brand. I don't want to be respect to his wife. We've never been married, but he is also in a Justin's life. Like I said, that Justin, I think they begged him to be his friend to do this because that neighbor, knowing Justin is a good man, share his food, shares helping for other people, so no one there besides the killer to against him, to bait him, to just have a chance to shoot my son. And then for the Carver County, they had a chance to just swipe up the case and never get any justice or evidence. All the witnesses, they don't want to hear. Like I said, we do everything possible we could do for getting justice for my son. Until now, we're not getting any further, nothing. Like, his property, they never returned. Nobody called us, and nothing. So I don't know what kind of justice they have in Bourbon, Missouri.
Let me ask you a question. Right now, okay, where is this person right now? Is he still living in the community, or is he moved out, or what?
Well, I never been living with only my son moved in Bourbon, Missouri because his daughter. The only reason why he moved down there because he wanted to be close to his daughter. Mm-hmm. He used to live with me before he moved down there because he said, "Mom, my daughter is growing up, and I need to be near her." Mm-hmm. That's the only reason he moved in there. Then he found this place that he don't get, well, he worked, but he don't get good credit like he's just a younger man. So he found it cheaper apart, it's still apart. It's only like 10 or 15 minutes away from his daughter. Mm-hmm. That he didn't have no idea that's going to happen to him because he's a good personality. Everybody in the trailer park, they know him as a good person. Everybody loves him. Everybody comes to us and say, yes, he never harm anybody. He never do any craziness on that area. Only the one person, it threatened his life. He even mentioned one time that he want to kill my son. Or is a neighbor. So he get a big chance. He has in the video he's showing that he has a gun to his hand, and my son's climbing forward to get out of the place. But he shot him 3 times, and then that called murder.
Yes.
In the video.
But right now, is that person still living in that community? Does he moved out?
No, he got kicked out, and he didn't even know where he at right now.
Yeah, they bought, the owner of the trailer park, I guess, bought his trailer from him, I guess, as a result of what happened. But, you know, it was my thought that when the first time he pulled a gun on a neighbor in that area, that should have been when the owner of the trailer park, you know, would have requested that he move or bought his trailer. Not, you know, that would have been enough, I would think, you know, for a property manager, a property owner to see, you know, to say, hey, maybe it's time for you to move out. But no, you know, my son had to come around and be the only African American in the trailer park. But like Eva said, all of the neighbors loved Justin. You know, when this happened, all of them came forth to testify that this was an unjust thing that happened. But the police didn't hear it. I mean, they discounted their testimony. They undermined their testimony. And in this coroner's inquest, which was just a tragedy of justice, was just, you know, something that you would have thought would happen back in the 50s and the 60s, you know, not in 2022. You know, these were people that came forth, multiple people came forth and said it was not justified for this man to kill my son. And, you know, even though they came forth, it didn't matter. You know, this gentleman, you know, is connected. You know, he was protected when he pulled a gun on his wife. He was protected when he pulled a gun on a neighbor, and now he's protected again when he killed my son, an African American. And
No,
you know, so
you said protected, okay? Exactly who is he being protected by?
he's obviously protected by the county government up there, because the same gentleman, like I said, that was his guardian ad litem, is now the prosecutor for Crawford County. And if he was the guardian ad litem that sought to get custody for his daughter for him, when he pulled a gun on his wife and threatened to kill her. You know, we've been in contact with his wife, and his wife, you know, said he was a dangerous man. She said he was dangerous when he threatened her, when he was danger when he threatened a neighbor, and he's obviously a danger for killing my son. So, you know, it's I don't understand how, you know, you can just plainly get away with this. But, you know, it's in Crawford County, Missouri, and it's just, you know, it's sad. It's sad, Howard, to see and we have gone through, you know, like you said, we've done everything we could possibly do, but we are not going to stop. You know, we are not, like I told them when we marched on the courthouse, we are not going to go quietly in the night like this didn't happen, because it did happen. You know, and we can't.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, does he, the young man, does he have any connections politically down there in the community, his family or something like that?
I don't know if he does or not. I know his father owns some type of taxidermy business down there, you know. But the next day after he shot my son, the sheriff and his deputies brought him from the police station to his home and escorted him away to his father's home. They took his guns to his father's. They gave, you know, the guns. They took his guns. You would think they would have confiscated them. No, if they would have been African American, they would have confiscated the guns. But no, they took his guns and they escorted him away safely to his father's house after he killed my son. You know, so I've never seen anything like it.
And he got a felony.
He already had a felony, you said?
He has felony. He had a record, and he had all the drugs in his place that the police didn't even see it.
Yeah,
and they even showed a video that he was holding, giving my son the drugs, and there's no charge for that. Nothing.
Wow. Oh, really? If he had a felony, he shouldn't be able to have a gun.
Yes, sir. He got a felony. They can check their record. And like I said, he has also, I believe that all the people talking about the trial is also sexual. Is his own daughter, a 2-year-old daughter before. He was sexual harassment to his daughter. And nobody do anything about it. Even his own mother knows it.
Wow, he's not committed to the community in every respect.
Absolutely, definitely a menace to society for sure. And like I said, we have been to the courthouse. We've marched in the courthouse 2 or 3 times. We did a march from Justin's house to the courthouse. And there were people, miles of people that were in this caravan to seek justice for Justin. People, his friends, his co-workers, his neighbors, all have come out to demand justice. But to this date, we still have not got justice.
Wow. Now, with the FBI, when they came out, what kind of report did they come up with?
Well, the FBI all they had was just the evidence that Crawford County brought to the table. They didn't do their own investigation. They basically looked at the evidence that Crawford County had, and it was a one-sided evidence. It was all one-sided. So, matter of fact, the FBI agent that I spoke with said, you know what, if it were me, he would be in jail, but it's nothing. It's we don't have, all we have is the evidence that Crawford County provided. They didn't look for it, honestly. They didn't look for previous video on this man's plan to kill my son. The neighbors were saying, hey, he moved his video camera. And if they're telling you that, then it would make sense to me to look at video footage, days or a few days prior to this happening. But did they look for it? No, they didn't look for it. Nobody investigated it. They didn't want to find it. They wanted to sweep this underneath the rug. They wanted it to go away. They are. Someone said that it was not political. It was not for the people that were looking for the votes. The voters down there didn't want justice. They just wanted this to go away. And so those that got voted in, their people, their friends all came out, and they were a part of this coroner's inquest, and it was just all one side. They're all Facebook friends, and to me, I don't see how they could even get away with it. But, we've got a one-sided situation, in this country. It's sad what's going on in this country. You look at what our ex-president is doing, and people are still behind him, backing him up when we have people that were killed, and they're in Washington D.C. It's so sad to know where we stand in this country, but we have to stand up. African Americans, people of color, we have to stand up. We cannot just accept these types of things and just let them be. We have to have a voice. So I'm asking people, definitely check out our story. Write your congressman. Do whatever you have to do to help us, because this is not going to go away. If we let this happen, it will continue to happen to our future sons and daughters and our future mothers and fathers. We have to stand up in Missouri and demand justice.
To piggyback off of that, and he mentioned the different writing, and we're suggesting not only the United Minority Media Association in Kansas City, but also in Ferguson and St. Louis and any place. Missouri is a show-me state. We want the people to write letters to the editor, not only focusing on newspapers, radio stations, TV station, and cable station in Missouri, but even the outreaching to get more, and then carbon copy, or CC, they normally say, to the FBI components, to if possible the CIA or Justice Department, the churches, and whatever. We have to have a mass continuation of employment. We're not taking this no more. And we're using that sense, whether you're from the South or whatever. So we really appreciate the family, the King family, not only coming on radio, and we appreciate what the St. Louis Post-Dispatch is doing, but we also go to the St. Louis American and other newspapers throughout this country to have an impact on, we will not tolerate white folks killing black or anybody killing black folks no more.
No, MC, I guess, the point that you're making is that, even now, that it seems to be gotten worse, that these killings continue to take place, every day. You hear about somebody, being black on white crime, no white on black crime, I should say, where, it's justice in most cases. And in this case, there was no investigation, and I can understand the FBI, when they come on the case, they got to look at what evidence that had been gathered previously when they got there. And I'm quite sure the folder that they got there, when they got there, was very thin, as for stuff for them to investigate. So right now, Mr. King, what are you, I know this may sound kind of redundant. I know we always have prayers up, blessings down. But right now, okay, with him having been kicked out of the trailer park, is he still in that community now?
I believe he is in the area. We have the neighbors that were there said he actually lives. I forget where, either if you remember where Lisa said he lived, but he's not far.
Not like 40 minutes away from them.
Yeah.
So, I guess what I was about to ask is that possible that you guys, picking his home or where he works at, does anything to get attention?
Yeah, I think we could definitely do that. Find out. I've thought about that myself, and that's definitely something we are going to be looking into further. But I would tell the listening audience to definitely keep your ears and eyes open for something like that. We will definitely, we are going to continue to picket. This has gone nationwide and also worldwide. And, people in different countries are actually responding to this tragedy. So, we are not going to stop. We're going to definitely pursue all legal avenues to pursue justice.
Well, I think one of the things I would say is the outreach of our station is that we have heard, at least, I'm not sure, in at least 10 or more countries, that's around the world that chime in, because really, it's not just a American problem. This hatred, and I can call it but hatred right now. It's pretty much universal, and it's constantly getting worse. And there seems to be no shame, no people. What I'm saying? There was a time that people apologized and have some remorse, but in this case, that's why I was asking if there was possible. So as long as you keep the stuff in the media face, okay, you get some pictures going on down there in different locations that would kind of go into some legal support.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely plan on continuing that fight, and we're going to again ask you guys. We appreciate you all helping us out. We will definitely let you know when our next scheduled event of picketing or protest, because we will not stop protesting until we get.
Yeah, behalf of for my family, for his siblings, for his brother and sister, I really appreciate in the bottom of my heart about your radio station using for seeking for justice for Justin King, and also for all people that they've been through what are we being through right now, and hopefully this is not going to happen again. It just is doing their job all the police and all that. Sorry, and also we asked him to just put him in a trial. We never go in a trial. Never showing the habit. If you kill somebody, I believe you have to go to court and get a trial, and he never did. So that's what we asked him for all the help and the whole listener that give us. I mean, really help to put this person behind the bar. That's what he deserves. You can just shoot people and you can get away for it. Even if you shoot a dog, you can have to go to jail. This is my son. And he don't do anything wrong to his community. He don't deserve to die and get shot like that.
Yes. You know, the thing that bothers me the most, okay, that you're saying that he had a felony on this record already, and so really, you know,
yes.
Some investigation on how he obtained the weapon that he had. You know, and
we have a lot of a big evidence. We have a lot of good witnesses. It just did not work because of them.
Because really, if you have a felony, you shouldn't have been able to permit to buy a gun, and somebody else bought the gun for you. You know, and they should have been possibly tried as a co-conspirator, so to speak, and convicted of a murder.
Yes, sir. They only hold him for 24 hours after you kill a person. My son.
Let me ask you a question. What kind of response did you get from Attorney General Aaron Smith?
I haven't heard anything from the Attorney General yet, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing his response. I do know that our attorney, Nimrod Chappell, has been in communication with them. I know that he had also been in communication with some of the political figures there in Missouri. And last thing I heard, he says, well, they've been in Congress or they've been going back and forth and they were busy. And now hopefully that things will lighten up and they can put this on their agenda. But it one way or another, it's going to be put on his agenda. We will continue to communicate, like I said, to the Attorney General. We're looking now to get the Highway Patrol involved to see if they'll take the case. But right now we don't have anything. We haven't heard anything.
Well, have you tried working with the Black Caucus in Missouri and legislators?
I don't think so. I don't think we have.
Because that's one group there, okay, that I think can help you at least get some attention from the Highway Patrol if you got them involved, because they can formally, what they can do, if memory serves right, they can formally request an investigation through them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean by that, they can, as a group, make their requests, and due to the fact that, they kind of control the budget of the Highway Patrol, so they'll get a much more better response than you or I would, about something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, that's something that's how I would kind of approach it.
Absolutely.
Well, that's an excellent idea, and getting the people out. They might not be in session now, but their offices, they have people there can get the word out. And just like, I guess, on Nimrod Chappell is the president of the Jefferson City NAACP. That's another group. All our groups, you should get them involved, because this is nothing new to them. We can go back to Emmett Till and Money, Mississippi. We go all over, and this issue is not just happening in Missouri. It's happening throughout the United States in the various cities, community, and states.
Yeah, and that's why I think right now, that a letter to the from the Black Caucus. Matter of fact, after Tuesday, the elections will be, the primaries will be over, I should say. And so there'll be a lot of, them back in the office. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
One of the things that if you want to, you can probably help Mr. Chapel out, okay? You guys can contact matter of fact, I want to say Steve Roberts, who's running for, running for office here, but he'll still hold his seat no matter what happens. At one time, he was the chairman of the Black Caucus, so he possibly could be a person that you can contact his office.
Okay, absolutely.
He should be able, to direct you to the right people.
Okay.
That can direct you, get somebody, get the Black Caucus, legislators, that consist of people in Kansas City, and also all over the things where we have black legislators coming from. And I think that would be a large group, a cross section of support that you possibly could get, that would go a long way in getting attention from the Attorney General as well as from the the Highway Patrol.
Absolutely. I will definitely take that on this coming week.
Well, I will also really consider the Congressional Black Caucus, and the young lady, Waters, is a native of St. Louis, up in Washington, D.C. Why would we contact as many people as possible and ask them to pass the word, and also try to get requests at each and every Facebook or anything like that to come together, and for we can not only in Bourbon County, but any county in this United States of the world that black folks are getting mistreated, and it's an injustice in 99.9% of the cases.
Also, it would behoove you, you would find out who the congressman was in that area. You could contact him also. I know Curry Bush is not in that area, okay? But you can still look up who's you call the election board to get that information of who's the congressman down there in that area.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And reach out to him or her. I'm not sure if it's male or female, but they would be able to, share some insight, and how they can drum up support, to show their efforts, to ask questions.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to do everything in my power for justice for Justin King. Justice for Justin King. Justice for Justin King. That is for sure. I appreciate all your advice.
Yeah, well, right now, we have our support, and that's that. So that's your comments. We've been supported. You DeBow program, and have had you come back again, because it's one of those things. Although we are pro-business for business and stuff, but we still have to advocate for our people. When there's injustice, that we must all come together, and to work together, and help our community.
Absolutely. Justin had a bright future. We had worked together in Florida and got, planned on doing things big here in Missouri. And, it's just a sad thing to see this young man taken out in his prime like that. Now his daughter, left fatherless. It's so sad.
King, as I'm thinking, in the Democratic primary, I had a guest on my program last Saturday, Ms. Coffee Wright, and she's running on the Democratic side for the United States Senate. And I'm happy to say that she is in the most recent polling. She came in, coming in number 3 in the polling. So if you possibly contact her office, okay, she maybe she has some light, direct some attention, to she knows some groups that she's a very much an activist, and they also want to get involved with this.
Okay. Absolutely. What'd you say her name was again?
Coffee Wright.
Okay.
She's running for Massachusetts Senate.
Okay. Absolutely. I will definitely reach out to her this coming week as well.
Matter of fact, I have some contact with her, so I will kind of share that with you, after the show.
Okay. I appreciate that.
It can be all helpful for you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, because you have to knock on all doors, draw all the barrels that we possibly can. When something like this comes about, because we don't want this to be a reoccurring situation.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. King, and what is your name again? I forget the other one.
Eva Bruns.
Eva Bruns, Ms. Brown. I want to, thank you again for kind of joining us, today, and being, and we will continue to advocate, for you guys, and if anything changes, or you need any more, airtime, you got our 2 shows, to be a part of, and we'd be more than happy to reach out, to our listening audiences and stuff, and do what we can.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your radio station. And I know one day I've been praying every day for God that one day I woke up with saying justice for you.
Well,
I never stop saying that for God.
As a mother, I can't. I know it's hard. It's a hard thing to just think as a child, and especially in an unjust, inhumane way, that it didn't have to be like this. And I know you were just doing it one time before, but I can't imagine, if I'm being a father of myself, and any parent, to lose your child, it has to be very, 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 hard thing, to deal with. And so I think really, and that's why I said I know it's hard to keep it, and that's why I don't want to kind of prolong it today for you, but I want to join us if you want to say before we let them go.
Yeah, I also want to say that for people who just tune in or other people you can get connected by, we have the Facebook, we have the YouTube, we have Apple TV, and we have some broadcasters, as Mr. King and Ms. King, that kind of briefly update our listener who just so happen, we'll say so happen, just tune in, and also how the St. Louis Post-Dispatch had a march or led and featured you guys in the paper, so maybe this could be an enticement for others who might not knowing what's going on. You can kind of encourage them to start participating.
And also, any kind of number where they can contact you?
Yes, yeah. First of all, I mean, if you just Google Justin King, his name, Justin, Justin King, King. I mean, his face will pop up. I can be reached at 314-326-2283. Again, my number again is 314-326-2283. And you can reach Eva. I'm sure she wouldn't mind sharing her phone number as well, Eva.
314-518-8462.
Yeah, and so
those numbers again one more time, please.
Eva Bruns, 314-518-8462.
Yes.
Any information or anything that it can help us.
Mr. King,
I really appreciate it.
Mr. King, one more time, please, your number.
Yeah, again.
314. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, again, my phone number is 314-326-2283. 326-2283. Anything that you can, ideas, contacts, we are open to anything that can help us get justice for Justin King.
Well, one last question here. How is there any kind of support for his daughter? Does this have to be a hardship for her? Not having a father to support her. What is that? How's she taking this?
Well, the only thing that because she's only 10, she just turned 10 this year. She do kind of a little taller girl, and she's really, I know she deep inside of her is feeling hurt because the life of her dad is her life, and now she's like not really showing how hurt she is, but I know it's gonna come to her in the future because she was there. That happened. She was inside the chiller. It just happened. So I know for right now, she's not really. But I know it's gonna get to her, and her mom is supporting her, and she's kind of 1 hour away from me, and I contact her every day and see how she's doing, and she can get her mom is trying to get an appointment. For talk to somebody. I think they already has. So that's a support that she gets for us, and hopefully that she can, and I'm praying that she was going to be okay during her life. I know this is going to be damage her mind because she hears the shotgun.
Yes, I'm quite sure that was a shot, a sound she never,
never forget the rest of her life.
One of the things I came across a friend of mine there in that area that actually is a friend of Rod Chappell's. His name is Webster Davis. He came up with a good idea. He says, "Now why don't you put a billboard in Crawford County about this situation?" And I don't know if there's a book or there's a story about 3 billboards or something like that. But one of the things that I'm really looking to do is to do that. I mean, and if we could get a rally to do that, that's one thing. Because I want this to be in their face every day that the prosecuting attorneys and sheriffs and Klansmen and Klanswomen in Crawford County, every day that they drive down the road, I want them to see what they're backing up and what they're supporting. So that's something that I'm calling on the public to possibly help us out. If anyone can give us information on how to go about that, or how to I mean, I know what it needs to happen, but that's one thing that we're going to be looking to do here very soon, is to put up billboards about this tragedy of justice in Crawford County, so the people there can see what has happened.
Let me ask you this. What type of feedback did you get from the people who saw the article that the St. Louis Post-Dispatch published? What kind of did you get any feedback from people who saw the article, or the people who participated in the march at the mall?
Yeah, we've got a lot of positive feedback. We've got people nationwide responding. I've had all types of journalists reaching out to tell their version of the story. So we've gotten a lot of feedback. We just haven't gotten any justice. And I don't know what it's going to take to get the justice, but we're going to continue to reach out to find it.
Well, again, we have our prayers, and as well as anything we can do. And I say also connect, next week. We're gonna talk anyway. We're gonna talk together today. We'll be talking next week. Okay, so I'll go to the information with you about right. Okay, and about ideas about how her support about speaking for that.
We appreciate it. We truly appreciate it. God bless you, you gentlemen, for stepping up and supporting this effort, because we are truly lost with kind of time. We really appreciate the support of you and I.
Well, we're not through. I think we got approximately 8 or 9 more minutes, so we want to utilize this time to the best of all our ability to really get the people, and like the people that are listening to this show, the people who are in contact with you. Hopefully that some of them might come out and assist in the sponsorship of the billboards and what have you, to really keep the word going in not only Bourbon County but throughout this country.
Absolutely.
There are some billboard companies that's a part of you one. If memory serves right.
Yeah, you're right. And a lot of them probably can Google to find out which one are out there and who are the contact person to provide them this very important information.
Yeah, because I think right now, a billboard in that community would go a long way into, keeping the word out there. And I would suggest not getting multiple billboards. I would just kind of take all that and put one billboard in one place and keep it that long as you possibly can, as close as you can, to make the thoroughfare. And that's if anybody want to come forth with any information, okay, you'd be happy to have that.
Absolutely.
People always think about stuff. They become a little stronger, and they may want to come forward on something like this.
But if it's all the listener, like on a highway patrol membership or anybody listening, that please call us and see if can you do help us. Please, I asking and seeking for help.
Yes,
So not only for my son, for all the community, all the people losing their children and loved ones for the hand of criminal.
Yeah, and especially it's unnecessary evil. That it didn't have to be like this.
Yes, sir.
It just like most crimes like this are senseless, but this is like almost like premeditated murder. To be honest with you.
Oh, it was definitely premeditated murder, man. It was definitely premeditated. He had stories on Facebook how he wanted to dump a mag. He's pulled a gun, like I said, threatened to kill another resident, another white resident, the same trailer park. There was nothing done about that. He threatened to kill his wife, and they were going through a divorce, and was nothing done about that. And again, the guardian ad litem, the daughter to him in this breakup. And and now there's been, sexual misconduct. The DFA searching this guy, and so it's such that this gentleman walked around Crawford County after like shot a.
You're coming in garbled, sir.
That was the look he had on his face. The next day, when they brought him home, he looked like he had instead of killing somebody.
Scott, what did you just say, Scott?
I was saying that the gentleman was garbled. So, just to let you know, you have it's 5:55 right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
You're welcome, sir.
Let's take advantage of these few minutes we have, ladies and gentlemen, and our folks.
Well, see, one of the things that you mentioned earlier in the program opening up was about Buck O'Neill, but also this past Tuesday in Washington D.C. Jacob Robinson Museum opened up for the first time to the public. He was one of the first black baseball players, in baseball, and also Satchel Paige. Well, that's the one from Kansas City.
Yeah, Satchel Paige, and some recently hitting the news that the county or the state of Missouri is going to provide them a $3 million grant to the home that Satchel Paige lived in to make it into a museum.
Right, yes.
And we are the show me state, ladies and gentlemen, Missouri, but we need to term it, not to get political, but first it's a red state, slowly it could be a purple state, but we all like to be a blue state. So you can take that, but the main thing, all our listeners today, be sure you get out Tuesday and vote. A lot of time we register, but a lot of them we don't go to the poll, and I'm quite sure a lot of churches, a lot of people involved will provide complimentary bus ride to go vote, whatever your ward and precinct might be, throughout the state of Missouri and other states. And another thing, not to get political, but never has the state of Missouri ever elected a black or person of color to a statewide position. So this is something you can make happen, but you have to go out and vote. You have to be registered. Then we got the general election in November, but we got the tell them how important about this that's going to take place this coming Tuesday, August the 2nd.
Well, this coming Tuesday, Coffee Wright, the lady I just mentioned, okay, she's running for Congress, United States Congress. And this is her second time running statewide. She ran against Josh Hawley some years ago. And right now I'm happy to say that she is really registering, in the top three on the Democratic side, which is a great showing, for her on a limited budget. And like you said, never before have we had a black person, elected statewide, and this now is an opportunity to do that. And also, we will be remiss, okay, if we would not tell people, please continue to wear your face mask, get your vaccine, get your booster shots, because COVID-19 is now resurgent in our country. Just today, our President Biden, who had caught COVID earlier a week or so ago, and he had taken his mask off recently, saying he was over it. And today it was announced that he has now caught COVID the second time. So that's something to let people know you got to take this very seriously. There's nothing to play with. Over 1 million people, 1.3 people have died from COVID. And the best part now is that the good side is that people having the cases catching the COVID right now are not dying and they're not staying long in the hospital. So the vaccines are working. And if you do catch it, okay, please go to your local doctor or your clinic, urgent care, or hospital to get some medicine into your body. And please don't try to just self-medicate. Just make sure you get some medicine in your body, because that will help you alleviate those effects, the bad effects, minimize, I should say, what's affecting your body.
Okay, and coming up in August, UMA, United Minority Media Association, we've been working with the Ethnic Enrichment Commission, and they'll have their festival the third weekend in August, and they normally, we didn't participate last year because of the virus, but they have over 65 different countries have their representatives, and then coming on September the 16th and 17th with the theme of September, and Kansas City will be the Yuma Midwest Southeast Regional Conference. And once again, ladies, you done stole the show, because you're competing with three guys and you've done an excellent job. So just repeat to the public how you can be reached.
Mr. King?
I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah. I can be reached at 314-326-2283. Anything assisting with getting justice for Justin, please give us a call. Again, my phone number is 314-326-2283. Eva?
314 518-462. Eva Burns.
Repeat it again, Eva, because you broke up.
Eva Burns. 314-518-8462.
And you, Ira?
You can always reach me, MC, by getting in contact with MC Richardson. You always know how to contact me 24 hours a day.
Okay, and we can be reached at 816-822-8866. And thank everybody for listening in. And be sure you always listen. I think, Ira, you on another day two of show. I think Scott said that last week.
Yeah, I'm sure can be heard on Sundays at 1 o'clock and also on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. So again, please tune in to Fowlkes and USA, HotTalkRadio.com, and Scott. Have with Scott on. And MC Richardson, my name is Ira Folks, Mr. King, and also Ms. Ron. Thank you for your support and giving us your time and invite us to your home. Life is good.
Thank you. You guys got all you got. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you guys. Appreciate it.